Right guys, so this is going to be the first of a few videos in terms of how to understand masculinity and what you need to do to become more masculine, and in essence you're kind of helping the world function. Okay, so it's quite a serious thing, and the first point I want to kind of highlight, and it's quite an appropriate start I think, is responsibility. And that can sound quite simple, like, oh yeah, you got to be responsible, but it's not that simple. It's taking responsibility for things that aren't even your fault. They've got nothing to do but with you, and you're not actually expected to do these things, but in a way you are. As a man, you have to do these things. I'll use the example just now of, I'll use a personal example of how I'm taking responsibility at the moment, and it's not to brag, it's just like an example. I'm decided that I need to move out of the house. I need to find a way of alleviating the financial burden from my parents so that they no longer have to pay anything for me, so that I can take care of myself and they don't have to worry about me anymore. I'm 20 years old. I need to start thinking about things like this. I need to take responsibility for that. Now, I could have easily just stayed at home and just focused on rugby and gotten things done and made very little money. But that's not really realistic in the sense of the world. I'm not a professional rugby player, I'm semi-professional. I don't have a big contract that's actually going to make any difference on my parents' financial income. Now, something I think about a lot, I see my mum especially is quite stressed out with work quite often. Something I want to do is take that burden away from her. I know a lot of the pressures when I moved to university, obviously they had to pay for my flat, they had to pay for just me living in a different city, which has cost more than for me to actually stay at home. Now obviously they were wanting to do that because they wanted me to go to university and such, but I kind of just took that advantage of that and didn't really appreciate it as much as I could have. I didn't really make any extra effort to try and alleviate that burden from them. And then since I've dropped out of uni and moved back home, my whole mindset has been, right, get out of here. Like, not in the terms of I don't like being at home, I love being at home, seeing my family every day, but I cannot accept being a man and having my parents pay my way. I need to take responsibility for that and move out, even though it's going to be tough. Like, it's not easy to live on your own with very little money, which is why I had to get a new job that's going to guarantee me more hours, plus my rugby contract, to try and make myself a living. And I'm trying to move things around with my phone contract, but because my dad's been paying that for a few years, because we get like a discount with our Wi-Fi and broadband, that he gets like a 50% discount, so he's been paying that. But I've recently asked him to cancel my contract so I can take out my own phone contract and start paying for my phone. The only thing that I currently do not pay for, once this phone thing is sorted out, will be my car. But that was, like, my parents are saying that's a birthday gift for me, so they're paying that off still. But in a way, I do still feel like I want to get to a point where I don't need to have them pay for the rest of the car. But in terms of rent, in terms of food, anything that I want to do, I need to pay for myself. I need to make sure all the things that my parents have sacrificed, taking me training across the country, like driving, taking me on holidays, moving me from South Africa to Scotland, all of the stuff that they've given up to give me an opportunity to live my best life. And that doesn't mean going out and enjoying myself, that means creating something significant and powerful, like what I want to create with the rugby, and create that vision that I have. I need to take responsibility for all of that. I can't just let them, I know they're my parents, they love me and they will ultimately support me, but I cannot rely on them if I want to be a man. And that's a lesson that I need to ingrain. That is something that I want to kind of teach in this channel, is the power of responsibility. Take responsibility for anything that you can control. You have to take responsibility for everything in your life. If you fuck up, you need to take responsibility, you need to find a way to fix it. Once you do that, I think that's like the first step to becoming a man, transitioning from a boy to a man, which I think is a very important transition that a lot of young men kind of leave till their mid-20s. You get a lot of guys that are in their mid-20s, they might live on their own stuff, but they still act like a child, and they need to realise that you need to be responsible for every single action that you do. Life has to be calculated as a man. You need to understand how to act in certain situations and how to find a way of taking responsibility and try to alleviate the burden on others. I feel like it's a very powerful masculine thing to kind of put things on your shoulder and try and carry things forward in life. And it is stressful and it's difficult, and in the past I was way too weak to deal with any of that. But now I feel like after a year of self-improvement, having that opportunity to live at home and work on myself, now I've got the opportunity to now take responsibility on knowing how to control my mind and my emotions. So I hope that's of value to you in this video, and if it's not something you heard, let me know in the comments before so I know that I'm teaching new things or to yourself. Obviously this stuff has been spoken about on the internet before, but if this is something new that you hear and it's helped you kind of get a new perspective on life, let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video to talk more about becoming a man.